Welcome to episode 117 of the Time Excellence Show. I am Douglas Calvin with douglascalvin.com, and we have today a show about leaders. We are going to be looking at how leaders leverage time for success. It's going to be a great show, and we're going to cover three sections today. We're going to be looking at the Leadership Differentiator that gives us results. That can help us all. We're also going to look how leaders recognize opportunity and provide a path to that opportunity. And then finally, how do leaders think? Do they think about tomorrow? Do they think about today? How do they look at opportunities and making a difference? So let's get going. This is going to be a great session, and we're going to start with time tips. Leadership Results Differentiator, which is time. Each one of us wants to make a difference in our world, however big, however small it might be. We might be a leader in our family. We might be a leader in our church. We might be a leader in our organization. Either way, there is some point that I think we can all agree that we take on a leadership role. And in that leadership role, we need to make a difference. We need to raise the bar in some way. And that's what we're going to talk about today. We're going to talk about what is that differentiator. We all strive to make more of a difference. We're making a difference today possibly, but how can we increasing it? How can we make it more? If you're working in an organization, they didn't bring you in, they didn't promote you, they didn't move you into a new challenge or project just to tread water. They brought you in to raise the bar. And those key principles that we can communicate and that we can lead those we influence will give us results. And those results will help us get more and more done and more opportunities. You know, leaders focus on time as one of the key elements in their day and in their leadership role. Time is a simple concept, and it's one that communicates well. What's the opportunity in your situation? If you think about it, what are the challenges? What are the gaps that you need to close? And often the point is, my people or I don't have time to adequately address it. I can't move the bar. It might be in your personal life. It might be in your business life. So let's look at personal for a moment. Our daily available time is what? Well, I know we're all different, but let's just look at it very generically. Let's say that we have, on average, 24 hours a day. That's an exact number. But on average, 8 hours of sleep. That gives us 16 hours a day at which we can influence others and which we can use time. If we take a conservative number, now everybody's situation is different, but often we can say, you know, there is 20% of wasted time in our life. Easy. I wait in lines, I'm in the car too much, I'm running errands, I'm sitting in meetings, I am meeting about problems that shouldn't have happened. All these things suck up our time. And if we could systematically free up some of that, what would it make a difference? So 20% of those 16 available hours in a personal day is 3.2 hours a day. Well, let's round that down even to 3 hours, easy talking points. What could you do in your personal life with 3 more hours a day? How could you find use for personal time? How could you grow? How could you learn that new information, that new skill set? How could you catch up? How could you get those bills paid on time? How could you spend some time with those that you love? How could you mentor more at work? Those 3 hours are huge when we look at our day. And that's what time excellence is about. Leaders are able to filter through and find out, A, where they're going to spend their time, and B, those time wasters, compress them. It's even more dramatic at work, possibly, because of the leverage effect of employees. We only have 8 hours a day, possibly, on average. Maybe working 9, 10. We'll be conservative. We'll just say 8 hours a day. So 8 hours a day, if we took 20% saving, if we could get the waste out of 8 hours, that gives us 1.6 hours of opportunity per day per employee. So if it's just me, 1.6 hours a day is huge, that I could actually focus, catch up. I could work on that project that'll actually get me out of this hole. But some of us are leaders at work. What if we had 20 employees, to take an example? If we had 20 employees, that 1.6 hours multiplies to 32 hours a week. 1.6 times 20 is 32 hours per week. Well, 32 hours for 20 employees is as if we had 4 more employees. Wow. 4 more employees on the manufacturing floor to get things done. 4 more employees in the office to help get that paperwork and quotes and get all the accounting processed. 4 more employees. That's huge. And that is the opportunity that leaders recognize, those that want to grow in their role. So 20 employees become the equivalent 24 in the future. That gives us more effectiveness with what we're doing. So it's a huge, huge, huge opportunity. It lets us choose what we're going to do with that extra time that we've freed up. We might increase output. We might be able to sell more, make more, process more, and really make a difference on those employees. We may use it for customer service so we can answer the call quicker. We can get responses there. We can have on-time delivery better. We can get those brochures updated. We can get our website improved. All these things will improve our customer service. We can get those returns processed so much quicker, get people happy. And new growth, huge opportunity in new growth. We could take the time and move it toward a new product, the one we've been thinking about for quite a while. The growth potential is huge because 20% of our labor could be freed up. And that's a huge opportunity. And the list goes on and on. What would you do with time? That's the question. What would we each do with the time that we have should it get freed up? That is what a leader thinks about. That's how a leader approaches their challenges at home and at work. And that's the differentiator that makes results come quicker and easier for those that know the key. We will be right back. Time excellence, the key to making more of a difference today by maximizing time for organizational, career, and personal achievement. We invite you to join us for each episode of the Time Excellence Show to write an even brighter chapter in your life. One of hope, growth, and purpose. The Time Excellence Show, prospecting for time together. Session 2, time tips. Leaders recognize 2 things. They recognize that they've got to identify and communicate the opportunity, and they need to provide a path at home and at work. That's what we're going to look at right now. We're going to look at those characteristics that make the difference for leaders. Providing that path is so critical. Things in life just normally don't happen by chance when you're trying to accomplish certain items. Identifying the opportunity is usually not that difficult. What do I mean by that? Well, if I work at a company, it doesn't take long to start hearing about where our gaps are. Open up the financials. You might find it's profit margin. You might find that it's cash situation, receivables. It might be inventory where too much cash is tied up. We may have a lot of those financial problems that our numbers tell us that we've got a gap. What should we do about that gap? That's the question. We might have customers that make no doubt as to what their gap is, what they see as a gap from your performance. The product may not work. It may be too late on delivery. It may take too long to get a question answered. It may take too long to actually make the product and get it shipped. It might not ship on time. All these things just open our ears, and it's not that difficult because people are usually more than eager to help us understand where our shortfalls are, especially in business. Employees will let us know. Those people are there. It's what they're hearing. It's what their challenges are. It's what their vendors are telling them. It's what the customers are telling them. It's what the manufacturing floor is attempting to solve. It's all these things help us identify where the problem is. If we're at home, do you have to think long to think where your gaps are, where you don't have enough time to get things done, or where you have too much time and don't know what to do? Are you spending enough time for yourself? Are you spending enough time with your family, with your kids, with your spouse? Do you have that quality time? Do you work on those things that make you a better person, those spiritual, those growth type things that allow us to learn more and to be more productive? Well, those are the identification of opportunities, and probably if we could talk right now, you'd probably tell me what your opportunities are right now. It's real easy. List 1, 2, 3, here they are. Identifying the opportunity is normally not the toughest step, but the way we approach that is what we want to talk about now. The way we look at those problems and what we do is important. You know, too often we do things that don't make long-term sense. Has anyone tried to just focus on something? I've got to get this done. I'm going to focus. I'm going to muscle this thing through. We're going to get this project done. I'm going to make this happen. I'm going to get this room painted. I am going to get the inventory down if I have to close the back doors. Well, I like to call that muscling. We're going to try and muscle it through. And the whole time we're creating more problems than we're probably solving. Because when we're muscling this one focus item, other items are falling further behind, and we're just creating the problem of the future. We're going to over-communicate. We're going to just talk about it, and things are going to get better because everyone's going to just hear about it till they're sick, and we're all going to focus on it. Same thing. We don't really know what to do. We're just all trying to muscle it, and we're communicating it. We got it, but we don't have a way to systematically improve it. We've all been in that situation where we've heard things like, well, if we don't hit this target, blank, 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 this is going to happen. We're going to have layoffs. We are going to not have a Christmas party. If this doesn't happen, we're going to get someone in here that can make it happen. Those are ineffective. Those are demoralizing mostly, but they have been used in leadership before and tried, but long term, those things just don't seem to work. So those are some of the things we've tried to work longer. We've tried to put time in, and those situations really aren't the path that our people and our families expecting. So what could we do? What are some things that we could do? Well, simple steps. We could communicate the opportunity. Remember, we said it's not too difficult to find the opportunity. We could get the 1, 2, 3 opportunities and just say, here's something that will make us better. We're going to communicate with everyone and know this is something we're going to work on. And we're going to provide a path to get there. We're going to know, going through step by step, that we are going to attack this situation, and we're going to get the metrics moving in the right direction. It's not going to be as much by chance, but process. We're going to find the true root cause, that thing that's really causing it. And one of those thought processes that is extremely beneficial, you've heard me talk about it before, is called lean flow. Well, lean flow is a part of time excellence. Lean flow takes the waste out of all processes. And time is benefited from that. There's also Six Sigma type tools that we look at to take the defects out. And there are other philosophies, there are other quality initiatives that we can bring to bear. But in this session, we're going to focus on, does lean flow, those simple concepts that everyone can use, lean flow. Do you think in those terms as a leader? Because that path is often the path that will bring substantial change and substantial benefits to the problems you face. It will free up and or make it effective that time. And the third thing we could do is get everyone to participate. This is not anything that one person should edict or solve. We should get there together because everyone knows their challenges and it all has to fit together, whether it's at family or whether it's in an office or whether it's in a factory. Everyone participating starts changing the outlook and the culture. So what do leaders do when they provide that path? Well, first, they provide a vision. This is what I see, and this is where we need to go, and we can get there. They lead in a positive direction, and often it's a lean flow direction. Those that understand that can get very quick results in that direction. Then it's focused on plan execution. Can we go through this step by step? Is everybody on task? We've got the vision, we've got the direction. Can we execute and can we keep everyone involved? And when things don't work out exactly like the people planned and things need to be tweaked, we're flexible. We flex as needed. That's key. This is a journey. This is not a final, it's going to be perfect every time. It's continuous improvement. So we as leaders can do those 4 things. We can provide that vision. We can lead in a direction. We can focus on execution of that direction. And we can be flexible and expect to make adjustments as people have better ideas along the way. As we find out more information, we flex. And it's in that leadership will rise above and we will see much more success and satisfaction for ourselves, for our employees, for our families. We will be right back. Time excellence, maximizing our time to make more of a difference through game-changing organizational, career, and personal growth. Take the next step. Save your spot in our free Time Excellence Training webinar, revealing the 3 phases and 7 steps to your new tomorrow at douglascalvin.com/webinar. Leaders think today. So, time tip in this session is how do we think? Time itself actually comes into our thought process. It's just not a concept. It is part of our thought process. So how do leaders think? Well, hey, when you take over a new responsibility, when you change your mind toward improvement and say, I'm not going to live with the status quo, the clock starts now, right now. Tick, 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 tick. And that's what leaders think about. They think about the clock is ticking. Now, we don't want to just scatter and go doing things that are somewhat chaotic. We want to be very systematic, but we want to feel the pressure of time, and we want to act accordingly. You know, we want to think long term, but we want to act short term. So lean flow is long term. When we reach that time excellence where we're utilizing time at home and at work better, we want to take that vision and chop it up and get moving on something short term. And there are things that will rise to the surface and say, you know, do me first. A few key actions today can result in significant results quickly. Those small items that we've identified as a true root cause can get us quick results. That builds momentum. That builds encouragement in the group. But also a second thing happens. You know, when we solve those, it's compounded. It keeps on giving. Once we solve that and we compress that 8-hour day, if we take an hour out of it, it keeps on giving. Next year, if we keep our processes stable, the same results will be there. Yeah, things change, but we won't be penalized with the issues that we solved. And that compounding is how we continue to keep results coming and coming fast and continuous. Lean flow paths can act quickly if we act on them, if we think today. And if we act effectively, don't just go doing things. Don't have different departments going different ways. Don't have the family working on one thing, I'm working on another, and they don't meld. When we bring it together, it's very, very effective. Leaders can simplify what they're saying. They're acting today, and they're simplifying, bringing the problem down to something everyone can understand. Can you understand time? I think I can. I think most people can. I think kids can. And when we know that time is precious and we want to compress it, we start thinking and acting in today's mode, and we start saving that time. We start really becoming effective. Leaders think today. Our challenge today is to use our time opportunities the best way that we can. So when you are given those opportunities, that responsibility, those leadership roles, how can you do the best you can with what you've been given? The deck of playing cards is not dealt out evenly. Some are given easier hands, some are given tough hands, but the key is, how can you do the best that you can with that, master that time, and make more of a difference? Our actions today. Number one, pick one opportunity or challenge. We talked about that earlier. What are some of those challenges? Just pick one that you have at work or at home. Identify it. Focus in on it. As a leader, identify that path. Use the time excellence concepts of lean flow. Those concepts that we talk about and we train on in these video series and in these audio series. That will get you closer to where you need to be. Those items will give you the path. So identify that path. Do you want to go in waste reduction? Do you want to use lean flow and journey toward time excellence? Excelling in time, making it more effective, doing more with what you've gotten. And then act on that path. There's where most people can drop the ball if we're not careful. We need to act. Do something. Do it today. Start simple, but you will see that acting on it will get people engaged and will start enabling that leadership vision that you have to move people down that path. Take another step toward time excellence. That's the summarizing step 4. Take another step toward time excellence. You know, leaders leverage time and they achieve success. That is what leaders do, and that's what we need to continually strive to do. Visit us at douglascalvin.com. There you have got webinars to sign up for. You have got business opportunities for consulting, douglascalvin.com/Chronalysis. That's my consulting company, Chronalysis Group. And we consult, we help businesses. For those of you that are individuals, we've got online information and programs and webinar training. Greet us on Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn, YouTube, iTunes. We're there. And the more you interact with our content, the more people that get to see it for free. You are actually part of our team helping others. And we invite you to do all those things and partner with us at douglascalvin.com. Time excellence. You know, we're all about mastering our individual time and our organization's time. And with that, we will make more of a difference, and we can have it today and continue on that path. We will be using lean flow time keys, and that'll give us organizational, career, and personal growth. I am Douglas Calvin with douglascalvin.com. Thank you for watching, and we will see you next time. Bye-bye.